As a society, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's why in this video, I want to share with you 10 things that you can start implementing today to help me go from miserable and unaligned life to now traveling the world 6 months out of the year and living a life that is far more authentically me. So whatever a happy, fulfilling, authentically aligned life looks like to you, my intention today is that by the end of this video, you will have 10 actionable things that you can start implementing to help you start getting there today. Now, by no means am I claiming that this is going to happen overnight. If you implement all 10 of these, I can almost 100% guarantee this will absolutely kickstart the process for you. And if it's too much for you, challenge yourself to just do one thing at a time. Do one thing until you're comfortable with it. And then once you're there, take the next one and implement that one afterwards. You can always just start stacking these onto each other. Number one is redefine what success looks like to you. When was the last time you even asked yourself this question? Does what a successful life look like to you? Is that depicted based on what society has told you, based on what your parents and your teachers have told you it looks like? Or is it actually what you genuinely want out of your life? And this is so important, because if we keep chasing goals that are not even our own, we are constantly going to have that empty feeling inside of us. This was such a crucial game changer for me, was when I realized that the goals that I was making for myself didn't make me feel any kind of way on the inside. In fact, they didn't get me excited. They certainly didn't get me out of bed in the morning. They certainly didn't motivate me to actually create something of my own and actually work towards them. It was so easy for me to procrastinate on things because my goals did not excite me. And that was when I realized they weren't my own to begin with. So I want you to actually define what success looks like and feels like to you. When you write down your goals, how do they make you feel? Because it is that emotion that is going to fuel you towards working towards them later on. When you write down your goals and you get that fluttery feeling in your stomach, you know that you're on the right track. And when you're doing this exercise, it's so important to completely disregard what your parents will think, what your teachers will think, what your friends, family, society. It doesn't matter what other people think of it. That is not the point here. I want you to define what success looks like to you. Okay, number two. You need to disconnect from this glorified hustle culture. The hustle culture is something that society has put into place in order to conveniently keep us absolutely exhausted and not even focused on our own dreams and goals. When you're constantly burning the candle at both ends and you're coming home drained and exhausted and you don't even have the energy or motivation to work on anything that has to do with yourself and your own goals and your own vision for your own life, that is a problem. But that is how our entire society is conveniently built and constructed. And the only thing that you want to do at the end of the day is to come home and just watch Netflix and scroll on social media. Comment below if that is you, because if it is, I completely see you. I was absolutely in the same boat, my friend. I get it and I see you. And I know how hard it is to get out of it, but trust me, that is exactly why you are here. So you need to disconnect from this hustle culture. You need to start prioritizing rest. What is it that you can start doing for yourself to start getting your energy back? What does that look like to you? At the end of the day, when you're feeling just so exhausted and you know that you want to just watch Netflix and scroll, what is something that you can replace that activity with in order to start nourishing yourself again? Take a bath, read a book, go for a nice stroll in the park, because those things will actually give you so much more energy. And this is going to tap into the next point that I'm going to give you as well. But disconnecting from that hustle culture that is glorified by society, we need to start making it okay again to actually rest. Stop feeling guilty when you just want to do a nice activity. Stop telling yourself, oh, I could be doing emails now instead, or I could be at work again, or I should be working, I should be doing this. No, this life is also meant to be enjoyed. And that is not something that you need to feel guilty about. So on that note, going into the third one, you need to disconnect from social media. Now, I'm not saying that you need to completely go off social media forever, but I will say one time I decided to do a 1-month detox from social media, and it completely changed my life. But it's important to just know what social media is in the first place and what it's doing to us and why it's making us feel the way it's making us feel. When you're feeling down on yourself and you're getting stuck in that loop, what is it that you want to do? You want to go scroll on social media. You want to go doom scroll, because what is that doing? It's giving you that dopamine hit. But the problem with the dopamine hits, it's like when you're eating chips, you just keep going and going and going and going and going. You need that short-term fix rather than doing something that is going to give you a more long-term benefit. And the stuff that social media is feeding you, it's done on purpose. Do you ever notice you get off social media and you just feel so depressed and you feel jealous and you feel envy and you feel all these very low frequency feelings? That is done on purpose. So instead of doing social media and scrolling on social media, start monitoring your screen time. First of all, it's important to know how much time you're spending on social media. How can you start cutting that down? I'm not saying you need to completely do a complete detox, but what if you were to half your social media time and then replace half of that time? Say you're on social media 3 hours a day. You go on for only 1 or 2 hours. That's a whole hour you're giving yourself now to go exercise, read a book, go for a walk, take a bath, do some yoga, whatever it is. But that is time that you are quite literally getting back. We never get time back, guys. Time is the one thing that you never get back. So you are quite literally giving yourself some time back to yourself, which is so beautiful, in order to start nourishing your soul again. The other thing that I did was cancel all streaming services. Trust me, you ain't missing a thing. You don't need to be that person who goes into the office the next day and you're standing by the water cooler talking about, I don't even know what shows are on there anymore, to be totally honest, but you're not missing anything. Once you start to get clear on your vision and clear to what success looks like to you, and you feel good about it, you are going to want to work on that stuff. And by keeping the streaming services, you're still paying for them. So you are no doubt telling yourself, well, I'm already paying for it, so I may as well use it. Cancel it. You don't need it. Trust me, your life is so far better off without it. Just do one at a time. If this feels like too much, do one or the other and start getting your time back from social media. And this is going to lead into my 8th note as well. So stick around for that one because the two of them go beautifully together. Okay, for number 4, build a side hustle or a passion-induced income stream. This is powerful because this is creating autonomy. Once you start to create your own income and you actually see that coming in, that is reassurance to you that you can create your own income. That will give you so much confidence. When I first started making money online and I built my business bank account and I started seeing money flooding in and suddenly I could start paying for things from my business, oh my gosh, the confidence that that gave me. I just started realizing, oh my goodness, like I can start actually creating my own income. I don't have to rely on someone to cut me check. And better yet, it just comes into my bank account anytime in the month. I'm no longer relying on a paycheck for income. When you start to see your own money come in, man, it just gives you this new sense of power and of confidence. But on this note, and equally, if not important, is I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did, which was chasing side hustles based on what I saw other people doing. This was such a thing for me that I did for so long, and I learned from my mistakes, but I was always seeing people like doing Amazon FBA, I did MLMs, I did ads agencies, like I just did so many things that I was not passionate about, and I was only doing them because I saw other people talking about how much money they were making. So I thought, well, if it works for them, it's got to work for me. And this is why I've never believed in the saying, if I can do it, you can do it, because everyone's on their own journey. But I was not passionate about these things at all. I was coming from a place of desperation and of lack, and I just so badly wanted it to work for me that, shocker, it did not work for me. None of these things worked for me. In fact, I hated doing them, and I was coming into them with such a low frequency and low energy. It's no wonder none of them worked for me. So it is so important that you are building something based on a passion of yours. So this goes back to number one. Figure out what it is that success looks like to you. Is there something that you see yourself doing that you're super passionate about? Is there a way that you can potentially monetize that down the road or even in the next year or so? What is it that you love doing, and is there a way to monetize that? Okay, number 5. Start becoming comfortable in the quiet. So this can be a lot of things. This can be meditation, this can be journaling, reading, this can be just sitting in peace and listening to your inner voice. And the reason I talk about this is because since day one of us arriving on this planet, what have we been taught? We've been taught how to listen to authority. We have never been taught how to go inward and to listen to our own inner guidance system. We are constantly looking outwards for guidance, outwards for answers, and outwards for direction on where to go in life. Why is that? Why is it that we are always asking other people where we should go in our own life? Because we are never taught or told to ask ourselves those questions. So it is so important to learn how to start loving and being comfortable in the inner peace, and start to learn how to listen to your inner guidance system. And what is that? It's just your intuition. And it's funny because so many times in life when we say, oh, I just have a gut feeling that I need to do this. I don't know why, but I have a feeling. And then what are we met with? Oh, you're just losing it. Oh, you're just crazy. Oh, that's not enough of a reason. We are taught to lean so deeply into our masculine and to lean into our logical mind. But equally important is the feminine side. And what is the feminine side? That is our intuition. That is our inner guidance system. Start getting comfortable with this and letting her lead the way. Okay, number 6, I absolutely love this one because this is something that I only just discovered about a couple years ago, but this is so powerful. Distance yourself from energy vampires. Have you ever heard of this term, energy vampires? Okay, when I first learned about this, I was like, this makes so much sense. Have you ever hung out with someone or been around a family member, and after you leave, you just feel exhausted and you can't explain why? You're like, we're literally just like sitting there talking for an hour, having a drink or something, and I just feel like I need to go take a nap. These are energy vampires, and I hate to say it, and no disrespect to any of your family or your friends, but there are some people out there that will actually suck you dry of your energy. It is so important to start treating your energy bank like your bank account. It is so important that we know where our energy is going. Who is taking up that energy? I'm not saying to completely disconnect from these people and stop hanging out with them, but I'm certainly telling you to be aware of how much time you spend with these people who are absolutely sucking you dry of your energy, because the opposite also exists. There are some people that you can hang out with and talk for hours, and when you leave, you just feel like Superwoman. You could go conquer the world. You've got all these brand new ideas. You feel inspired. You feel excited. You feel energized. You feel like you just shot back 10 espresso shots. These people also exist. So when you're hanging out with these people, they are sucking you dry of your precious energy. So it is so important to be very aware of who these people are and just start monitoring the amount of time that you start spending with them. Because the more energy they suck from you, the less you have to put into the projects and the goals and the dreams that you have for yourself, because that is where you want to be putting your energy. Okay, number 7. Work on your knowledge and education in topics that you actually love. Isn't it so funny that the school system just absolutely blasts our mind with topics that are so incredibly irrelevant and unimportant that we all know we're never going to use for the rest of our lives? But what is it that you're actually passionate about? What is it that you spend your time learning about and immersing yourself in, that you completely lose track of time consuming these kind of information. Start expanding yourself and educating yourself on topics that you're actually interested in, because who knows what this could lead into for you. Also expanding you as a person. Start exchanging your doom scrolling time, your social media time, your streaming, your Netflix time, with expanding yourself with valuable information and knowledge, and educating yourself on topics that you're actually passionate about. If you are someone who really dives into your passions, dives into what you feel uniquely called to, you have no idea the kind of people that you can start influencing later on down the road. You have no idea. You have that pull and that passion for a reason. Start leaning into it. Okay, number 8. Okay, this ties back to the social media one we talked about earlier, creating more than you consume. Now, I'm not talking about creating content. If you're not someone who wants to be on here creating social media content, that's not what I'm talking about. Creation can be anything. Creation is anything that you are doing yourself that is coming from an inner place of passion and soul guidance. We are always distracting ourselves by consuming and consuming and consuming more. The two big ones being social media and streaming services. But have you ever asked yourself how much time you spend consuming every single day? Like, just look at your screen time on your phone, look at how much time you spend on social media, and then on top of that, how much time are you spending watching Netflix and watching all the streaming services? That is a whole lot of consuming, when instead you could be creating something. And the creation side is somewhere that is coming from your soul. That is your unique code. That is what you were put here to do. Whether it's dancing, or it's painting, or it's drawing, or it's singing, or it's whatever it is, that is all creation. And that is what we were put here to do. That is what we were put here to share with the rest of society. You may just be sitting on a gold mine that you were naturally given, but you were hiding it. And you are sitting on it because you are instead distracting yourself and wasting time consuming. So instead, be the creator that you were sent here to be. And that is when the magic starts to happen. Okay, going off of that, we're going into number 9. Be mindful of what you consume. Now, I know I've been talking so much about social media on this whole thing because honestly, it's very important and very relevant. But on this one, I'm talking more on what you consume, what you eat, what you put in your body, what you put in your vessel. Is it nutritious, or is it keeping you behind? Is it keeping you tired? Is it keeping you depleted? When I first learned that the food industry was linked to the medical industry, I thought, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. How are the two linked? Oh, I know. The food industry is conveniently creating its food to make us sick. Now, I know that this isn't a secret anymore, but quite honestly, it's getting really hard to avoid foods that are making us sick, that are keeping us depleted. It is our responsibility to educate ourselves on what we are consuming. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have all these super complicated diet plans. It just comes down to eating more whole foods and start avoiding the foods that are in the middle aisles. I always say to people, just when you go into a supermarket, stay on the outer side of it. Don't go to those middle aisles. That is the stuff that is processed. It is made with seed oils. It's made with chemicals. Oh my gosh, it has terrifying stuff in it. I downloaded an app called Yuka. It's got the little carrot on it where you can scan barcodes and see what's in your food. If that doesn't scare you away of half the stuff you're eating, I don't know what will. But it is crucial to start being more aware of what we are putting in our body. I started looking at my body as a vessel, as a temple, and I wanted to nourish it in order to allow it to bring forth the purpose that I felt that I was brought here to do. And in order to do so, I need to ensure that I am nourishing it and I am not putting chemicals in it and stuff in it that is going to make me feel lethargic, tired, sick. I made it my responsibility to know what I'm consuming. A few quick, easy ways to do this: no junk food, completely no junk food, massively limited my sugar. I don't drink soda. I don't eat candy. I don't eat any of that kind of stuff. Just pretty much canceled out all sugar. And I don't really eat a lot of the snack foods anymore either. Those are just 3 quick fixes I could do that massively, massively reduce the amount of crap I'm putting in my body. Be mindful of what you are consuming. And number 10, and I love this one, and I know that this has been a lot, guys, and that's why I say don't feel like you have to implement all of these at once. You can make this a slow process for yourself, but doing all 10 of these will work absolute magic in your life. So number 10, establish a deeper relationship with nature. There is something about being in nature that just allows you to completely slow down. Go for evening strolls in nature if you possibly can. There's something so funny about the term being a tree hugger, because quite honestly, I feel like that is what I've become, because I get it now. Because when you do have your feet in the grass, or you're touching the trees, or you're just in the nature, you feel so calm. Is that you? Let me know in the comments if you're the same person, because I quite honestly always joke about the fact that I am a tree hugger now, because the energy that nature gives us is palpable. It is beautiful. It's also so beautiful to watch how nature is on its own schedule. Here we are as humans just rushing around, trying to stay on schedule, trying to keep up with the seasons, just like on this constant regime, whereas nature is far more relaxed and things always happen no matter what. Nature is always on time. Nature is always where it needs to be. And there's just something so beautiful and soothing being around that kind of energy. Mother Nature, Gaia, is quite honestly the most beautiful and patient teacher that we can have. Start putting yourself in nature more and connecting with its beauty, and you will notice your nervous system immediately start to calm down. This has honestly been a huge one throughout my healing journey, my spiritual journey, and just my overall coming into my higher self journey. So there we have it. Those are the 10 things that I have started doing that have truly, truly helped me massively up-level my life and step into the higher version of myself. They've helped me take responsibility and ownership for my own life and stop being a victim to what society puts on us, and instead start taking control of the sovereign being that I know I am. Stop giving in to the distractions that society feeds us and start taking ownership of your own life. And once you do, this will start giving you more confidence and more motivations to start moving into that life that you are calling in for yourself. And if you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend following it up with my next video about the 5 things that you need to stop doing in order to start living in more alignment. I will link it in the description and pin it in the comments for you. So I truly hope that you found value in this video. If you did, comment below and let me know what stood out the most for you. I am so grateful for you being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.